Good morning and welcome to Mountain Mike's Whetstone Woodworks. Coming to you live from Maggie Valley, North Carolina. Today is January 5th. We're a few days into the new year. Mondays. The only good thing about Mondays for me is I work for myself, so I'm my own worst boss. I make myself get up early and work out and then start my day. So I've had some questions about forearm pain as a chainsaw carver, and this does go out to the chainsaw carvers. You know, I also answer questions to people that are customers of and just enjoy chainsaw art. But for my carvers that are having forearm pain, there's a couple different things to help treat that. One thing I say before you start carving every day is stretch your forearms. You can stretch your forearms by just pushing your palms back, pushing it forward, up and down. You can stretch and release that muscle in your forearms, do a little massage on that muscle right there. If you're getting the tennis elbow, another thing I've found that helps is you can especially do this on road trips when you're driving in your car somewhere. You can do repetitions. Is a product, and I'm not endorsed by these. This is just something that I use. I'm not endorsed by them in any way, shape, or form. But is a product called Alpha Grips. Now, Alpha Grips has some different exercise stuff. They have these little donuts. You squeeze them. They've got a set that goes from like 1 to 5. They start off easy, and then they go up, and you're just squeezing it. And that works the muscles and tendons in your forearm. And if you do that every day, it will actually help. And then the other thing, you have more pain that gets up in the tendons up here, and the tendons. It's this. It's like a rubber band thing. You put it on your fingers with these little loops, and then you just do stretches like that, and it works those flexors and those tendons. I can't even say tendons. My southern accent ruins that. But you stretch out, and it helps exercise your hands. And these things I've found have worked out really well for that. And I no longer have forearm pain. I use these. I don't use them every day, but if I'm in the car riding, I'll keep them in the car and I'll do them then. Or when I'm doing my sauna at night, I'll have them in there and I'll do them in the sauna. And it just helps. You know, I do basically sets of 50. These are a little harder to do sets of 50, but I try to do that. And normally hit 200 to 500 depending on how long I'm in the car or in the sauna. So hope that helps a little bit. That's what I find helps me. So especially stretching. Get up and stretch your arms and your forearms. That really does help, and it helps to deal with the pain. Another thing about chainsaw carving. This game can be very taxing on your body. And I found that out the hard way. I kind of neglected myself. I didn't take care of myself, and it started to really take a toll on me. My joints, my back, my legs, everything really starting to hurt. And so what I did is I started working out, started doing push-ups, started doing sit-ups, all body weight stuff, but just stuff to keep myself in shape, and stretching every day. When I get up, I stretch for an hour, do the hot tub to loosen up before, and I found that to get rid of all the pain. It's gotten rid of my sciatic nerve pain in my legs. It's helped with shoulder pain. It's helped with stiffness. It's helped with back pain. It's helped me to be able to keep going like I have. All right. So that's one thing I recommend is doing your stretches in the morning before you start carving. And start a routine, a workout routine, especially if you're a full-time carver. There's no reason you can't get up like I do at 5 a.m. and start working out a little bit before you go to work. You know, I work out from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. and then I go out to my carving shed, or I come out here and I make some videos with advice and stuff like that. So I hope that helps. So now we'll go on to something else. As a beginner chainsaw carver, you'll see that you have a fire for chainsaw carving. And what I mean by fire is you just feel like you got to do it all the time. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. And you're so excited to do events. And you're so excited to do all this stuff. And then comes what I call the burnout. And a lot of carvers deal with the burnout. And for years I said, "Oh, I'll never burn out. I'll never burn out. I love this." And then about 8 years in, so actually this longer than some carvers get before they get the burnout. But about 8 years into carving, I got what's called the burnout. and I found a way to get through it, and I forced myself to keep going. And you know, that first round of burnout, I made it through it. I started kicking back on the shows a little bit and just kind of focusing on what I wanted to do, and found some other things. I started making custom signs. Then I started, playing around with some other art forms to kind of escape carving for a little bit, and started forcing myself to take vacations, because I don't take vacations. I never have. I've always been a work, 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 work. Even when I go on trips, I'm working on trips. But I forced myself to start taking vacations, and that helped me a lot. And I got through it. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point, I faced another really bad burnout. I was just tired of traveling. I was tired of being away from my family. Just tired of carving. I wasn't inspired. I was just like, I don't physically feel like doing this anymore. I got burnout. I got where I couldn't deal with all the people that I was talking to. I talked to so many people. I had so many things going on. I had a website. I had 2 Facebook pages. I had TikTok, Instagram, all these different ways. I had the gallery. I was selling it like a couple other galleries at the same time, and doing fairs and shows, and I just got what I call the burnout again, and it was like overwhelming, and I was fighting through that, and then we had the Hurricane Helene hit, and that kind of took my steam away again, because the business dried up. I was getting custom orders, and luckily there was a project called Echoes of the Forest, which uses recycled timber from Hurricane Helene, that my good friend Lisa started, and with a few other people. And because she started that, she helped me find a purpose again. And but I really went through a really bad round of the burnout depression. I didn't want to do this anymore. I was trying to figure out what else I was going to do. I'll tell you what, I started working out even more. I started cold plunging, started doing the sauna. This is when my workout routines really started. And then I started off simple. I started off with a few push-ups a day, 10, 20, 50. And then I grew it now to where I do 1,000 a day. Anytime I have an anxious moment or anxiety, or I am overwhelmed by stuff, I do push-ups. So as you can tell, I have a lot of anxiety. Because I do 1,000, I obviously have a lot of anxiety, and it helps me cope with it. It makes me too wore out to be anxious, so that helps. And it gave me a purpose. And what I did is I decided I was going to stop competing. I got invited to a couple competitions, and I still went, but I decided I was going to stop competing for the most part. I stopped doing a lot of competitions, because that's where I was getting the burnout and the overwhelm, was from that. So I started cutting back and doing just little shows, but I became kind of reclusive. I hid myself off at my shop behind the gate. I didn't really deal with any customers and stuff, because I was battling, some internal stuff, trying to figure it out. But the workout helped. Taking some time to focus with my family, taking a vacation. We took my father-in-law to Italy in February, and it was one of the best trips I've ever had. But that helped me cope with this, and it helped me deal with this, and put me in a better mindset. So I get myself up, do my stretches, do my workout, get myself in a good mind frame as soon as I get up in the morning, drink my cup of coffee, protein, take a bunch of supplements and vitamins, and and really focus in on my family and that family time. And it's been wonderful. I fixed it. I fixed my mindset. I'm lucky enough to have some good friends to talk to. Got Rusty Rayfield, Woody Hedgepeth. I've got J.R. Miller and his wonderful wife Ashton, and and my buddy Jason Armagast, and a few other people I send memes with back and forth on Facebook and Instagram. You know who you are, Ryan Cook and Ryan Villers, and got some Marine buddies, and those people helped me get through it and really helped lift me up. And especially Rusty Rayfield was there a lot for me to talk, because he'd been through these same issues, and we talked a lot, and that helped me. So just having the good friends and good family but especially good friends in the chainsaw carving community because they know what you're going through. You know, me and Rusty have been carving about the same amount of time, and been there for each other for a long time. And so having that really close friend relationship in the carving world, people that understand what you're going through and what you're doing is very important. So, and if any of you ever need somebody to talk to because you're going through a burnout or you're having an issue, you know, I'm here. I'd be happy to talk to you. I'd be happy to respond. It doesn't have to be on video like this. We could do it in private. You know, shoot me a message, you know, on my Facebook page or anything. I'd be happy to help you. I hope these videos help you. I hope, you know, I hope it just helps you keep going and be inspired. My mission is to bring happiness one carving at a time, and to inspire others to do the same. You know, if each one of us can inspire happiness every day and try to push that, the whole world would be a better place. You know, I see too many people disagreeing about politics and about everything, and I hate it. I hate what it comes to, and I don't want to see it. And you know, I want to see us all be together, and all of us don't let people push us apart. You know. So I'm going to end the video here. We're 11 minutes in, which is over my 10-minute mark that I like to stick to. So much love to you guys. Take care of each other, and I'll see you next time at Mountain Mike's West Stone Woodworks. Love you guys.